Hello everyone, welcome back to our CSS course. In the previous lesson, we learned class selectors to apply different styles to different elements. So y'all can remember we gave a class name. Here we gave a class name, and then we took that class name by adding a dot in the style. Inside style opening and closing tag, we typed a dot, and then we typed the exact same class name, open the curly bracket, and gave the property and a value. Right. So today we are going to learn three new CSS properties: the font size, font family, and the text align. So let's get started. Let's open a new file for today's lesson. We'll name it as lesson3.html. Okay, now let's close these. And we did an exercise in our last video. So if you haven't checked that, please go and watch it. Now let's generate the structure by pressing the exclamation mark. We can generate the structure, and let's rename the title as lesson 3. Okay. So today now we are going to let's learn how to change font size in a text. So for CSS, this provides a property called font size. So let's write the style. Let's let's type style in between a opening and closing head tag. So inside style only we have to code our CSS properties, right? I hope you all can remember. So I have leave some line so that it's clear and organized. So, like I told previously, CSS provides a property called font size. So, font size changes how big or small text appears. Now, we'll create two paragraph. Let's create two paragraph as actually two sentence. So, we are going to put this sentence inside paragraph tag. Small paragraph and large paragraph. Now let's open this in our web browser. You can see now we have just a plain text as small paragraph, large paragraph. This is a HTML code, right? Now I'm going to give a class for this, and I want to make this paragraph font smaller. First paragraph font smaller compared to the second one. So for this I'm going to give two classes for these two paragraphs. So you all know how to add class. Let's give the class name as small text. And here second one let's give as large text. Okay, now you all know how to take this class inside the CSS by adding a dot. Let's add small text and open the curly bracket. And here there is a property called font size to change the font. So let's give the font size for the small paragraph as 18 pixel. Let's refresh. You can see the small paragraph font has increased. Now let's give the large paragraph. I want my large paragraph font size to look larger. So let's give it as 35. So how to take? Press a dot, type the exact name as large text. You have to type the exact name given here. and open the curly bracket, type font size as the property so that you can change the font size. Let's give us 35 pixel. You can see the font size is large, right? Now, when you save and run the program, you saw the difference, right? The first paragraph is smaller while the second font size is much larger. Here, here I have given px, right? 18 px, 35 px, which is a unit used to measure, right? So it is the pixel. So larger the pixel value, the larger text. So well, let's try giving this 20. See, when the pixel increase, the font size increase. Now see, I didn't refresh it. Once I refresh, you can see from 18, it has increased a bit, right? So you can try by increasing this font size and see the difference. Now, if you give here 40, you can see it keep increasing. So as the pixel increase, font size increase. Let's give 36. You can see. Let's give 28. Okay. So font size, to increase the font size, you must use the property font size and give the value using, you can give the value like this. Okay, you can give the value like this. I gave it 28 pixels. Okay. Okay, I gave 28 pixels. Now let's learn, now that we have understood the font size, now let's learn how to change the style of the text. So we are going to learn font family. So to change the style of the text, we use something called font family. So as I told previously, to change the style of the text, we use font family. So now we have here two paragraphs, small para and large para. For small para, I'm going to give something called font family. The property is font family, Arial, right? Here you can see when I press F, you get here. You can use this and I'm going to type Arial, right? And I'm going to refresh. You can see how the font style change. Once I type Arial, it has changed. So usually uh, there is a font comes default, but you can give the font family. You can choose a text type of text font type and change the default to your preference. So let's change the large text into Times Roman. Let's compare font family, give the value as Times. For this larger paragraph, I want to give the font family as Times Roman. So let's check font family and the value as new, okay, Times New Roman, right? Times New Roman. Let's refresh.
So once I refresh and run the program, you all can see the large paragraph font hasn't changed because my browser might be already using Times New Roman. So we commonly use the font family Arial, Times New Roman and Georgia. These are the commonly used font family. Now let's give the large paragraph font family as Georgia.
You can see how it changed. So these are a few common font families. So try changing font families and see. Now, if you change this, actually, we'll change this again to Arial. Here you can choose, here they will give, you can choose. For now, I'm typing it because you all need to practice. See? Now I'll change this to Georgia. The larger one to. So you can change the looks of your paragraph by using font family, and you can see which one you like the most. Okay. Before starting the font alignment, I want to show you all something. Now you all can see here, for the first paragraph one, we gave a class, and here we applied two properties. Actually, you can apply any amount of properties according to the requirement. According to your requirement, you can choose the properties and change that specific sentence or the element, right? Here, if I don't want a font family, I can remove it, right? So now let's learn text alignment. So, have you all noticed the text what we typed so far appeared left side, right? This happened by default, right? It appeared left side of the page. So until the text alignment property, we can move our text. So we can move our text to center. Now think that I want to move this small paragraph to center. So by default, it has been in left side. So far, whatever we code, it has been coded left side, right? So imagine I want to change this to center, so I can go to my small text class. In between the open and curly bracket, I can type something called text align, right? Here I can choose, so I'll choose center. Make sure you have clicked auto save. You can check that by going to file, like I always explained in my previous video, or you have to refresh, save it manually. Okay, refresh. You can see the text appeared center. Alignment, the paragraph, or you can say actually this is a small sentence, right? It moved towards center. Now we can also make this right, left, we can do. So usually by default you get it as left. So anyway, I'll show it left. I'm using the small text. I'm using this one. Now I gave it as left. Let's refresh. You can see. Now let's give it as right. Let's refresh. You can see it has changed to right side of the web page, right? Let's make it center like we did it before. Refresh. You can see it appeared center.
So if you take text alignment, we commonly use left, right and center values. So what you all can do is pause the video and take this large paragraph and change the text alignment to left, right and center. That will give you all a good knowledge on text alignment.
Right, you can do that as a small exercise to get practice, and run the program and see all the three properties. How does it work? So with that, we have learned successfully of how to increase the font size and how to use font family, text alignment. With that, let's do a small exercise. So we are going to do an exercise from what we have learned from today's lesson. So here this is the exercise. First, create a new file called exercise3.html. Complete the following task, right? Using that file, you have to complete the following task. You have to create one heading, give the text as CSS exercise, create one para, right? Give the first para a class called small, and the second paragraph a class called large. Change the font size of both paragraph. Set the font size of first para 18 pixels and second paragraph to 35 pixels. Set the font size to Arial to first and second para. Align the heading to center. So y'all can take a small screenshot, pause the video and start doing it. First, they are asking to create a file. So let's create a file called exercise 3.html. Right. So let's generate the structure. Let's give, they haven't asked to change the title, but to make it nice, I'll change the title to exercise 3, right? And I'll open this in my browser. Okay, I'm going to open it in my browser. Now let's check the next one. Now I'm going to give a heading. So I need to give the text as CSS exercise. So let's go. Let's code the, so they haven't asked to give whether it's H1 or H2. I'll give as H1. CSS exercise, right? I gave the text. Now let's refresh and check our results. Yeah, perfect. And next, what they are saying, I need to create 2 paragraphs. So they haven't mentioned about the paragraph text. So I'll give it as first para, first para, or I'll give it as paragraph 1. And I'll use another paragraph. Actually, these are small sentence, right? Words. So I'm giving this as para. I'm giving this inside the tags para. Let's refresh. Okay, perfect. Now next, I'm done with that. I need to give the first para a class called small. So let's type class small. And the second para, I need to give a class called large. You have to give the class in the opening tag. I explained this in my last video. I hope you can remember that. Then I need to change the font size of the both para. I need to change the first para font to 18 and second to 35. So let's open style in between the head closing and opening and closing tag. So after title, you can type style and then how to change the first para font. Put a dot to access the class. Type small. Open the curly bracket. Type the font size. You can choose and give it as 18 pixel. Is it 18? Let's check. Yes, and refresh to check the results. Okay, second one for 35. Come out of the curly bracket. Now to access the second para, dot large, font size, choose 35 pixels. Okay, you can see that we have successfully changed the font size. Now next, I need to set the font family for both paragraph, first para and second to Arial. So let's type font family, Arial. He also will type. Let's refresh. Okay, you can see that we changed that as well. Next, you have to align the heading to center. So they haven't mentioned about adding a class to heading. They haven't mentioned about adding a class to heading. So since there is one heading, you can just access H1 and type the text align as center, right? If you want, you can add colors as well. Let's add the paragraph 1 as color, a font color. You can remember we use the property color, and let's add it as brown. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, this is something addition. So they haven't mentioned this to do in the question, but I want to show that you can add colors as well. You can add many properties to a class. And let's add the second one to chocolate color. Okay, refresh. Okay. I'm now going to change the CSS exercise heading. CS exercise heading color. So you can change if you need. So I'm not going to do that. So yeah, successfully we have done. Actually, this color, it's something addition. They haven't asked that in the question, right? I just wanted to show y'all that. So in today's lesson, we learned how to change font size, font family, and text alignment using CSS. These are common properties and you will use them in almost every web page you create. So I hope today's lesson was clear and helpful. In the next lesson, we will learn more useful CSS properties to make our web page even more attractive. So if you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.